A lot can change in the NFL. One moment you're reunited with your college QB and best friend, then the next they're replacing him with a better looking but slightly worse football version of him. If all that can happen in a year, imagine what can happen to these teams in 5 years. What's up everybody and welcome into 5 Teams in 5 Years, the YouTube series where we look at NFL teams rosters from 2022 and 5 years ago in 2018. Possibly we will find some information by doing this exercise, but more than likely we're just going to see the teams that are good and the teams that are bad are bad. Today we're going to be looking at the Jets, the Chiefs, the Vikings, the 49ers, and the Texans. I'm only comparing the skill positions, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and one player on defense. Look, I know that football has a lot more to do than just those guys at the skill positions, but I don't want to be here all day. So let's just stick with the big names and get this show on the road. And make sure you subscribe. Let's go. And make sure you stay to the end of the video because one team is going to surprise you. All right, let's go. The 2022 Kansas City Chiefs versus the 2018 Kansas City Chiefs. 2022, we all know about this Chiefs team. They had Patrick Mahomes. Leading the backfield was Isaiah Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon. We also had Juju Smith-Schuster as their leading wide receiver and Travis Kelce as the tight end. On defense, Chris Jones, he had 15.5 sacks. Crazy year for Chris Jones. Really awesome. They finished at 14-3 and they won the Super Bowl. Okay, now in the 2018 team, they still had Patrick Mahomes. They had Kareem Hunt. Whoa, flashback. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and again, on defense, Chris Jones. Guess how many sacks he had? 15.5. That's not a lie. Look it up. That's crazy. 5 years ago. Their record in 2018 was 12-4, and they lost the AFC Championship to, I believe, the New England Patriots. So crazy. Chiefs have been good for a while. What can we determine from that? Well, you have a good quarterback, perennial tight end, might be the best tight end ever. Defensive players put up 15.5 sacks. You're gonna be pretty good for a while. So, all right, let's move on to the next team. The 2022 Vikings versus the 2018 Vikings. All right, so in 2022, the Vikings, they had Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, TJ Hawkinson, they traded for him. And then on defense, they had Daniil Hunter, he had 10.5 sacks, huge. They went 13-4, and they lost the wild card, classic. Now let's take a look at them in 2018. 2018, they had Kirk Cousins, they had Dalvin Cook, their wide receivers, now this was interesting, Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs. Kyle Rudolph was their tight end, and their best player on defense, Daniil Hunter, 14.5 sacks. They went 8-7-1 that year. They didn't make the playoffs. Not bad. What is consistent again? Quarterback, they have a running back, they had Adam Thielen, and they had a good defensive player. I think we're figuring this out. But I don't know if you can apply this to everything. Let's get into that next team. The 2022 Jets versus the 2018 Jets. Now I know what you're thinking. We have Aaron Rodgers. Not yet, you don't. We're looking at 2022 because this season hasn't played yet, so can't be doing those types of comparisons. The Jets, this last year in 2022, Zach Wilson, Flacco, Mike White, we all know it. They had Hall and Carter as their running backs. They had Garrett Wilson as their wide receiver. They're one of their better wide receivers. He was a stud. Tyler Conklin at tight end, and their best defensive player was Quinn Williams. They went 7-10, which is actually pretty good for the team that they were. Now, let's look at them 5 years ago. 2018 Jets, Sam Darnold, Isaiah Crowell. Now that's a throwback. That guy had a couple of good years. Top wide receiver on the Jets in 2018 was Robbie Anderson. Chosen is his name now. I was confused when I saw that on Pro Football Reference. Robbie Anderson, Chosen Anderson. That's crazy to think about. He was their best wide receiver. And then their tight end, Chris Herndon. If you play fantasy, you know this guy. He was always going to break out. Never did. Best player on defense, Jamal Adams. Their record that year, 4-12. All right, we're about halfway through this list. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment. If you like this video, if you're enjoying this content, let me know. I'll make some more of it. I had fun doing it. I like to look back. So history always repeats itself, right? I don't know. Hit it. Now let's get into the next team. The 2022 49ers versus the 2018 49ers. All right, so in 2022, the 49ers had Jimmy G, Purdy, a little bit of Trey Lance. Running backs, they traded for CMC. That was huge. They had Mitchell, Jeff Wilson, but CMC is the big name there. Wide receivers, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, awesome guys. Both had pretty good years. And then George Kittle at the tight ends position. Best player on defense for the 49ers, Nick Bosa, by far. 18.5 sacks. Crazy. Record, 13-4. They lost the NFC Championship. 2018 49ers, they had Nick Mullins and Jimmy G, but I think Jimmy G got hurt, and then Nick Mullins and someone else was the quarterback. The running back, Matt Breida. That's a blast from the past. Matt Breida. What a guy. He's still in the league. He played for the Giants, right? Crazy. This is even crazier. Their wide receivers, Dante Pettis and Kendrick Bourne. With that crew at QB, running back, wide receiver, I think you know what their record was. And then they had George Kittle, and their best defensive player in 2018 was DeForest Buckner. They finished 4-12 that year, so there you have it. Brutal year for the 49ers. And finally, the team that's going to surprise you, it surprised me because I forgot about it, the 2022 Houston Texans versus the 2018 Houston Texans. 2022. We got quarterback Davis Mills, running back Dameon Pierce, he was a beast. Sold him in Dynasty early after a couple good games for first round pick. Wide receivers, Brandon Cooks. Tight end, Jordan Akins. And their best player on defense was Christian Kirksey. They went 3-13-1. 2018 Houston Texans. This is a stacked team. Deshaun Watson, pretty much in his prime. Lamar Miller, Hopkins and Fuller. DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller. That team was crazy. Ryan Griffin at tight end. He was even doing stuff out there. And then on defense, J.J. Watt. I mean, they went 11-5 that year, and they lost the wild card. Good old days. Texans fans probably hoped for that, and then now they got their guy. C.J. Stroud, the next coming. Guess we'll see. So there you have it, folks. That's comparing rosters from last year to 5 years ago in 2018. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think, what teams I should do next, and just let me know if you enjoyed this content. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like, all that stuff. Thanks for watching. Peace.